Welcome. This presentation provides a brief outline of the contents of our paper accepted by the 42nd IBIMA Computer Science Conference. The paper is titled Addressing Challenges in AI-Based Systems Development, a Proposal of Adapted Requirements Engineering Process. The presentation will be given according to the following plan. We'll start with the motivation behind this research. Then research aim and particular research questions will be explicitly expressed. Next, I will describe the steps we took as part of our research, which included a literature review to identify the challenges that affect requirements engineering processes for AI-based systems. Next, the selection of a base requirements engineering process will be explained, followed by identification of additional practices that should be included in such process to address the challenges. Finally, the overall picture of the adapted requirements engineering process will be presented, and the presentation will be concluded. In recent years, significant advances in the field of artificial intelligence could be observed, as more effective technologies like machine learning and deep learning were developed and enabled more effective predictions and decision-making processes. So, as a result, there is a growing demand from the business side for AI-based systems that would provide advantage in a competitive market. The projects aimed to development of AI-based systems are still IT projects that need to follow software engineering processes. However, there are some specifics of developing such systems that result in a need of adaptation of existing software engineering processes, practices, and techniques. In our research, we focused on requirements engineering part of the overall software engineering process, as requirements engineering is one of the core activities in every IT project. And as we found out, there is no complete requirements engineering process proposal for AI-based systems available in the literature. That's why we started our own research with an aim to propose a requirements engineering process that would be able to address at least some of the challenges reported for requirements engineering activities concerning AI-based systems. Such aim was associated with several research questions. First, we needed to identify what additional requirements engineering challenges are reported for AI-based systems compared to more conventional systems. That's research question 1. Then we needed to establish a base for the requirements engineering process we wanted to introduce, because it would not be reasonable to start from scratch and ignore the whole requirements engineering body of knowledge that is available. So, research question is, which of the existing proposals of requirements engineering process can be adapted for development of AI-based systems? And such base process needed to be augmented with additional practices that could be introduced to address the reported challenges, and research question 3 is about such practices. So, in order to identify the challenges related to requirements engineering activities for AI-based systems, we conducted a literature study based on snowballing approach. Snowballing means starting with an initial set of previously identified papers and investigating the papers related to them through a citation network, forward and backwards. The process is iteratively repeated for all papers qualified as relevant to the topics studied. The literature study followed a plan designed upfront that included, for example, inclusion and exclusion criteria or data extraction rules, and the whole process resulted in identifying 16 unique challenges. Each of such identified challenges was described by a unique identifier, a name, and a longer description explaining its significance. Also, traceability to the sources that mentioned such challenge was provided. This slide lists 2 example challenges out of those 16. The whole list is provided in the paper. In order to propose a requirements engineering process that could address such challenges, first we needed to select a well-defined base for such process. In order to do so, we reviewed 4 well-established sources, the industry guides dedicated to requirements engineering or business analysis. Such sources were Business Analysis Body of Knowledge by International Institute of Business Analysis, a syllabus by International Requirements Engineering Board, and 2 sources published by Project Management Institute, Business Analysis for Practitioners, a practice guide, and Requirements Management, a practice guide. We compared these 4 guides with respect to their structure and detailed contents. You can see a comparison of their structure, the areas they cover in this slide, and finally we decided to select Requirements Management Guide by Project Management Institute as a base process for our next step. In the next step, we adapted such process by introducing additional practices aimed at addressing the challenges. Such practices were identified through brainstorming and ideation process. For each challenge, at least one practice mitigating it was identified, but in some cases there were several practices. You can see the examples of some of the challenges that were addressed by 3 or 5 practices. A complete mapping between challenges and corresponding practices that address them is provided in a tabular form in the paper. The mitigating practices were assigned to particular activities and sub-activities of the base requirements engineering process defined in Requirements Management Guide. In this slide you can see the final adopted requirements engineering process model with indication where the particular practices are located. To summarize, we identified 16 unique challenges specific for requirements engineering activities applied to AI-based systems. We reviewed 4 well-established industry guides and selected PMI's Requirements Management a Practice Guide as a base process for our proposal, and this proposal includes introducing 19 additional requirements engineering practices addressing the challenges and positioned within the specific activities and sub-activities of this based requirements engineering process. We also conducted some initial validation activities by interviewing industry experts, and the initial results are promising. However, future work is required, especially in validation area and also in modifying our proposal according to the feedback we received from the industry. Thank you for your attention. In case you have any questions, please feel free to contact me by email.